Welcome back to the art room with Miss H. This is the week 7 grade 3-4 lesson. Once you've read the book Colour of His Own about chameleons, we're going to start to work on making our own chameleon. For this you only need some very basic equipment. You'll need paper and drawing equipment. You'd need paint brushes and water. For this activity it's really important to get your water-soluble textures, but you might also need crayon and pencil. So there are 2 different versions of chameleons that we're going to try to recreate. So the first version is like a painted texture version, and it looks a bit like this one here. So for this particular chameleon, I've just used textures and water to create a painted effect. So this is quite a nice large chameleon. But the other one that we're going to do is also, if you would like to not paint with textures, is a crayon rubbing chameleon. So you can do a flat lizard like that one, or you can do the lizard on its side. I just copied the one from the book, so you can do it like that. So there are 2 types of lizards that you can do. The first thing that we're going to do is start with the painted one. So with the painted lizard, you just need to take your pencil. Now, because we're going to put water on the paper, I've sourced slightly thicker paper. If you had paper from a scrapbook, that's nice and thick. But if you don't have thick paper, that's okay. It just means that your paper is just going to sort of buckle a little bit, and it'll just be a little bit sort of like bobbly when you dry it. You might put it under some books to dry. So we're going to draw a lizard. I'll do the lizard like the book, this particular one, I think. So I can draw a chameleon like the one in the book with the distinctive chameleon head, and come up for a curly tail and join the body to the tail. Then I can do 4 legs. You can put patterns onto your chameleon if you'd like to. Okay, so sometimes people put like triangles onto lizards and things. I'm going to do a ground line, or he could be on a tree. Okay, now that you've done that, you're going to get your textures. And you can use whatever colour textures you want to just colour this in. If you're using connector pens that are slightly thinner, just colour over the lines several times. I'm going to use thick pens, and you'll see that they offer a much thicker line. You can use as few or as many colours as you like. Now, I do not recommend using black. So if you want the eye and the mouth to be black, when we finish you can add the black in, but I don't recommend doing black at this point. I don't think I'll draw the line for the ground, I might just leave that. So because my lines are quite thick, I'm only going to do them one time. And you could do all cool colours one side or warm colours another side. I'm just going for random placement of colours. The darker colours are going to be quite bright. So that's quite a lot of colours. I feel like I just want to add some of this blue somewhere. Give him like a tummy line. Okay, once you've done this, then you just need your paintbrush and water, and you just damp down where you put the texture. And it becomes a little bit like paint as the texture goes into the water. It becomes a little bit paint-like. You can actually put some of that colour inside the chameleon. colours take longer to bleed into the paper than others. This is why I've got slightly thicker paper today. But as I said, you can use regular paper. You might just have to put it under a book or something to dry. I feel like I just want to put a colour on his mouth. Yeah, I'm going to put brown. Let's see what that does. So the theory behind this is that it will look like paint. It's going to take a while to dry. This takes a long time to dry. So I'm going to put him aside, and then we're going to do a different type of lizard. So we'll put him aside to dry. Right, the next lizard I don't need the paintbrush for. The next lizard I'm going to do as a crayon rubbing. Now I say crayon rubbing, you can use crayons or pencils to do this. So for this lizard, I'll draw the big flat lizard. So I'm going to draw a lizard head. And then 2 arms. And 2 legs. And then a round tail. Some more stripes. I'm going to do 2 eyes for this lizard. Okay, for this lizard, I'm going to do a rubbing. So I've looked around the house. I found a few items that have got interesting patterns. So I've got like a vasey kind of candle thing. I've got a sieve, and I've got this big box with this amazing pattern. So I'm going to use these to do crayon rubbing. Normally when you do a crayon rubbing, you use the crayon on its side, but for this rubbing I'm just going to colour it in like a regular crayon. I'm just going to gather a few of these because these crayons will be fine. So what you want to do this time with your lizard, and this works really well if you have the thinner paper, is you find something with an interesting pattern, you lay your lizard on it, and then you just start colouring in. And what this is going to do is generate texture on your lizard, like a lizard's skin has texture. And you're going to create that. So you see I'm not really using the side of the crayon so much. It has interesting shapes to it. When I go to do a new colour, I blend it in a bit with the old colour. So that's what that shape looks like. A sieve, if you've got a sieve, put that underneath. It's a bit more difficult. But you can see that that gets tiny little lines across it. This big one is interesting. So if I blend this pattern along, it makes great lines. Like that. So you can colour the whole lizard in with crayon, which is what I did on this one, and I actually coloured the whole of the sky. Everything was coloured in. I made it a rainbow lizard, so I did like a ground, a sky, and I blended the rainbow lizard. So you don't need to worry too much when you do this one about where the patterns go. If you move the patterns, it doesn't matter, because it just looks like a really cool lizard pattern. So that's what I did with that one. This one's still drying, so when this one dries I'll come back to it and I'll just finish this one and then we'll have a look again. Right, so I've come back to my lizard that's dryish now, and I finished my patterned lizard. So again, you can do any patterns that you want. This one that's dry, you could do a crayon rubbing for the ground, so you could get your pattern and then you could create the ground by just doing a rubbing. So you could add texture to your work in both ways or just one. So you could use the textures or you could do the crayon or pencil rubbing. So you could do this for the whole image if you wanted to. So I could do the sky in different tones, like a sunset or a sunrise. So if you haven't got anything around the house, you can use concrete slabs in the garden, that kind of thing. When you've finished your lizard, you can just get a black pencil if you want to, and you can outline the lizard and you can colour the eye in. Another trick that you can do is you can just take one crayon and just fill in any white shape that you want to. Again, you could crayon rub this. You don't have to do one colour, you could do a couple of colours. You have to wait for it to be really dry, but that looks really good when you colour it in. And then you can cut yours out and you can stick it onto a background like this one. So you could cut yours out, stick them onto a background, or you can make your own background. So in my scrapbook you'll notice that I've got the lizards that we're doing now. The lizards that the grade 5/6s are doing are landscape lizards, so they're creating a landscape and hiding a little chameleon lizard up in their landscape. So if you want to do a landscape picture, it's the same concept with crayon and then the textures that you paint. If you would like to do a 3D activity, you can go online and you can make a 3D paper chameleon. This chameleon, I used green paper and I rubbed dark green crayon on it before I began, so I had some texture to this one. I squashed it a bit. This took a long time to make, but it's a really fun activity. So if you want to do that, I've put the link at the bottom of the page. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoy making your own lizard. I would love to see your pictures. I think that would be really cool if you could send me your pictures of your chameleons. I'm sure they're really, really good. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time, and good luck. Bye.